Happy New Year's, everybody! How's everyone doing on this final day? I really can't believe that it's the end of 2020, which honestly felt like it was going on forever and ever and ever with everything going on and all the bad stuff that's been going on throughout this year. And the amount of closest people that we lost throughout this entire shit show pretty much is making all of us wish that this year would end as quickly as possible. Uh, but nevertheless, what can be brought out from this year is at least we can hope that maybe 2021 won't be such as bad, but you can never know this. Also, I'm very sorry that I'm not making much sense. I just haven't slept properly. I went to bed at about 3 a.m. and woke up at about 10, so sorry I'm kind of incoherent and pretty much. Yeah, so what can be said? Probably one of the worst years for everyone else involved with the corona pandemic, with the Black Lives Matter movement. It just felt like the entire world just stopped dead in its tracks, and people were just scrambling for a way to actually let things go back into order again. And a lot of people suffered because of it. A lot of people died off due to the pandemic, and many of my closest friends actually lost their relatives as well. And I couldn't help but pray every single day that this sickness would never catch on to my parents, and me especially, because while I'm not exactly scared of catching the sickness, I was mostly scared for my mother because she was still recovering from her chemotherapy and from her cancer treatments as well. So if I caught the sickness, she would definitely be compromised, like in terms of health. So I was praying every day that she wouldn't be caught about it. But despite the pandemic, with all the restrictions, all the lockdowns being forced into place, kind of affected everyone morally in a sense. It did affect me in a sense too, because all the safety precautions that have been enacted in the place where I work was also kind of unbearable a little bit, and the war times were even entire droves of people were actually sent home due to being infected over time. And as a result, it kind of made us all weary, kind of made us all depressed, made us all angry at some point. And we were just all collectively hoping that all of this just calms down when the next year rolls by. And with all that being said, and I kind of took a break as well. I decided to take off the entirety of December, just to grab a rest and not upload anything. And sorry guys, it's just eating too much, and I'm barely trying to keep myself awake as well. And yeah, I was pretty much taking a rest this entire December, not uploading anything. I will actually be returning to uploading somewhere around. Wait, let me quickly check if that'll be okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, on January 4th, I'll be coming back with uploading videos, and the game that I'll be playing will be Front Mission 3. Yep, you heard that right. I'll be coming back to that game. I'll be redoing the entire Let's Play. Because I didn't like the way I actually did the Let's Play last time, so I was hoping that I could give it the attention and the commentary that it deserves, that I have a better webcam and I have better recording quality as well. So we're going to be starting from Mission 3 once the new year sets about. The original idea was actually to start the year with playing Cyberpunk 2077, the game that everyone's being hyped about, but unfortunately with the way Cyberpunk 2077 was released, with all its bugs, with all its lack of features, I kind of decided to wait until February, until the final patch comes out, and actually play it then. But I kind of also think that even if the final patch does comes out in February, I really doubt that most of the features that they promised would be patched back into the game, but one can only hope. But yeah, I was actually one of the very few people who actually pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077. You see, the reason was, even though I never trusted CD Projekt Red from the start, I was playing Witcher 3 at the time, and since I loved that game so very much, I still haven't finished it yet. I'm on the final act and I still haven't finished the expansions for it. So Since I love The Witcher 3 so very much, I decided why not? These guys know how to make a game, and why not, um, toss that money on this game that looks pretty fun. And I'm kind of a big fan of the cyberpunk genre in general. But when it came time for the game to be released, downloaded, I actually haven't played it on day one because I felt somewhere deep down in the back of my mind that the game will be a mess. And unfortunately for me, I was right. I began seeing lots of videos, lots of headlines saying that the game is buggy as all get out. The base PS4 and Xbox ones were a complete mess, for lack of a better word. The PC versions were also kind of problematic too. And on top of all the glitches, like the features that were promised just weren't there at all. And there were a lot of speculation going about that, like where the hell did the features go? Maybe everyone thinks that due to some story elements, maybe the features were cut out in a way. I really don't know. And even though I know it might be impossible to actually expect those features to be patched back into the game maybe in the future, it's still, one can only hold on to hope. Another bad tragedy that hit, well, not exactly the word, mostly the wrestling world. I'm a big fan of wrestling as well. The passing of Brody Lee. He was known in WWE as Luke Harper. He was a very talented guy, and a lot of people say that he was a nice wrestler too, and it was a damn shame that that guy passed away. Not due to Corona, mind you, but mostly due to lung complications and all that. And it's a very damn shame. The guy was very talented. His gimmick as the Exalted One and the leader of the Dark Lord in AEW was amazing. And he left this world really damn early. He was about 41 years old. He still had a lot to give to that profession that he loved. It's a shame that he went on too. And another biggest problem right now is the DMCA jail time bill that's going to be passed probably somewhere around next year, unless Trump reveals it. Basically, if any sort of like foreign music plays in their videos, where it would be streaming or on YouTube, it might be viable for jail time. And when I first heard it, I couldn't help but just overthink everything. Like, do I have to do I have to completely delete my YouTube channel just to keep myself from earning that jail time? Because that's the last thing that I need. First they threaten us with huge fines over kids' content, and now they want to jail us just for some bits of music that plays in the game. That's absolute ridiculousness and greed to the max. Basically, the only way I can put it. But hopefully, like the content for kids rule that was enforced at the very start of this year will be toned down. What I meant to say was, hopefully this rule will be toned down somewhere down the line, just like the content for kids rule that was enforced somewhere at the start of this year. Some people tell me that I have nothing to worry about since I live in the UK and not in the States, and I just tell them, what's to stop UK from accepting that kind of ruling as well? And what's stopping corporations from abusing this rule from hell to back? Like, all kinds of nonsense just going on. And when you compile every single bit of nonsense that this year had tossed us into one ball, and you're just looking at the way how it's going to affect the future, you just can't help but think about it. Like, almost every single day, like I tell to myself, the future just keeps getting worse and worse, and I'm just hoping for that small silver lining somewhere down the line. Not just for myself, but for all of you guys as well. I'm really hoping that all this balled up nonsense doesn't affect all of you guys down the slightest coming into next year. And hopefully the next year will be chill, because if this continues on for like several more years, I'm really scared of what will come of our world if this pandemic, if all this nonsense keeps prolonging. I fear like our society might even become even worse than the one in Cyberpunk. If any of you guys remember the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG, when it comes to the lore of that game, everything is pretty shitty in there. And when you take most of the connotations of that lore and compare it to what's happening in real life, it's almost eerily similar, as if the tabletop RPG almost predicted some events, some of the real life events during its game time. But damn, I've been railing on a lot of negatives, haven't I? But really, when you look at all the negatives, it's really hard to find any positives, honestly. I mean, I never looked for any positives, I'll be honest. That's why I only focused on negatives. But despite that, deep down inside, I'm hoping that there'll be a whole lot more positives coming next year, and hoping that this pandemic doesn't end up putting humanity backwards too much, and hopefully it'll help us take a couple of steps forward and see if we can get better. I mean, well, yeah, wishful thinking, but nevertheless, good to have wishful thinking. Keeps you from being completely negative, like, every single day of your life. So, I think I rambled on enough. So, what I want to end this video by with is, I wish you all guys a happy new year. I wish you all to spend an awesome time with all your families. Keep them close to you, and pray that this new year will be a whole lot better for all of us involved. Whether it be for new people, younger adults, and let's take these steps and move forward life, because that's all any of us can do pretty much in the end. And let's hope we can rein in a whole lot more positives, just to balance out, to wash out the whole lot of negatives that this year brought us. And small reminder just at the very end, gonna be starting from Mission 3, Alyssa's route, on January 4th. So you guys, keep an eye out for that. We have a lot of Let's Plays to do next year, and I'm hoping that you guys will stay around and enjoy. So, once again, happy upcoming New Year's. I wish you all the best, and I will see you all next year. Bye bye!